Good evening, everyone. I'm Matt White, one of the vice principals at the college in charge of our pastoral provision. Just wanted to say a few words about what we do and how we do it, I suppose, really. As Mrs. Parsons has already mentioned, we are a school of choice for many parents because of what we offer and how we choose to deliver our educational experience. We are a really close team of adults who tirelessly look after every individual in very much a family atmosphere where no one gets overlooked, and that's a real strength of the college, I think. We have a culture of success and support for everyone due to our size, but it allows everyone to succeed. And the students always know that what I talk about is them having the most opportunities they can and taking and grasping every single one of those to leave with as many opportunities and options when they leave us eventually, hopefully at year 13. As a parent, I've been recently through my son's primary secondaries transfer, and it's a really difficult period of change for the students, but as much the parents. I think that's a real big thing as well. Actually supporting the parents in that process is really vital. We've adapted our first 2 weeks for the students when they come. So we have things like the lunch early, creating opportunities to meet new students, make friendships, and that's a really important part of the transition. And next term, we're organising some form of meet the tutor evening in the first few weeks. So as a parent, you know which person's working with your son or daughter, and you can place a name to a face, and that's really important because we want you as parents involved as your children grow through the secondary school. Throughout the year, we have different contact and regular contact and feedback, and we're only ever a phone call away. So if you do want to make a phone call, come in contact with us, we really do encourage that, and our staff are always happy to discuss and meet over any concerns, and just as much important, if not more, to sharing your successes too. We have really clear expectations, which are high, and encourage students to be really positive in our school environment. We try to recognise the positives and reward and celebrate the successes, both small and large, throughout a student's life at the college, and look forward to sharing all those successes with you. My eldest son, he's year 11, he's just left actually, and it's amazing how quickly the time flashes past. So I'd really encourage you as parents to also make most of these opportunities to get involved, ask questions about your child's experience. It goes too quickly, it really does. To end with, two things really. We're really passionate about making sure your child is safe in school with us. And on the very rare occurrences where poor behaviour choices do occur, we make sure we deal with this robustly so that every child can continue with their learning. And that's important that we don't ever compromise on that standard that we have for each and every lesson, every child. We want to let the children, young people get involved in college life, from sports to arts to roles of responsibility and leadership. And we're really proud of our college cohort of students already in the building. And we hope to see your child at the college leading, contributing and succeeding with us. I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Gilbert, who thinks he's the best head of house, of course, because he's Raleigh and you're very lucky to have him. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a moment. He's a key contact for you in September and the person who leads the whole house of years 7 to 11. Over to you, Mr. Gilbert.
Thanks very much, Mr. White. I'm not too sure on Mr. White saying that I think I am the best head of house. Right, lovely. But hello, I'm Mr. Gilbert. And, you know, leading on to what Mr. White said, I have some fantastic news to you all. You have been fortunate enough to be placed in the best house. You are in the best 25% of the school just by wearing the red colours, right? And that's how we've got to be looking at this, right? I'm really proud of being the head of Raleigh. We have been very good in the past of winning lots of competitions. I must admit, we've not been too up there this year. And so I'm really keen to get some new recruits in. So I'm very excited to be meeting you all. You know, hopefully you're going to be as enthusiastic as me for success. And we can make sure that just like on this slideshow at the moment, Raleigh is at the top. Now, of course, as everyone else has already said, it's a real shame that we've not been able to meet you properly. But hopefully we're going to answer quite a few questions tonight. And, you know, I can see there's a few parents on the cameras. I can see there's a few young people as well. It's really important that you young people, you know, can feel confident in September that you're going to have a good opportunity to ask any questions and feel comfortable coming into your first proper day of school when all the other year groups are in as well. Okay, so cool. Next slide, please. Excellent. Now, this is really exciting. I've got Mr. Richards and Mrs. Masters in my tutor team this year. So if you're in Raleigh, which all of you are, most of you will be with Mr. Richards, who is a lovely chap, and some of you will be in the mixed group with Mrs. Masters, who has got a lot of experience tutoring. She had the year 11s in the Raleigh house this year. They're both really, really fantastic tutors and really nice people who are going to be really good at welcoming you once you come into school. Now, these people will be your first port of call. So you'll see them every single morning. And so if you've got any concerns or worries, these are the people that you'll be able to, see straight away and talk to. All right. If things, are ongoing, or if your tutor needs a little bit of support as well, depending on what the problem is, that's when I'll be getting involved to support you as well. You'll be seeing me and your tutor lots as well, hopefully to be saying lots of great things. So just to have an idea of what's going to happen with contacting the college, obviously you will have access to all of our email addresses, especially the tutor. So as a parent, your first port of call will be the tutor if you've got any worries as parents. But you will also see what's going on in the half-termly college newsletter. As students, you'll have your own planner, which we're going to see a picture of in a few minutes. And so in there, we can have some contact between parent and teacher as well. If you have got the need to ring in for an absence, if your son or daughter is not feeling well, we need to know by 9:10 every day, please. And so it does say each day. So if you've been off on the Monday and you're still going to be off on the Tuesday, we still need to have that phone call on the Tuesday, please. Okay. And of course, if there's any medical appointments which are coming up that you're going to know about, if you can let reception know early, or the tutor know, then that will be able to be dealt with as well. So that's a little bit about contact. Homework, everyone's most favorite thing to do when you come to school. We use a website called Satchel One. And what this is a really good website, actually, which means that you don't have to write down what work you've got to do. It's going to be on the website, which you can see, every day. It will give you a to-do list, and you can check it off once you've done. You could submit the work to your teacher through the website, or if you'd rather, you can take it into school, or if the teacher's asked you to, you can take it into school, and they can tick it off on the website for you. One of the really useful things about this, as well as, along with the organization, is that parents, you also get a login. So when you turn to your son or daughter and you say, oh, have you done all your homework for today? And they go, oh yeah, I didn't have any today. If you wanted to, then you'd be able to check that and go, oh, I've just seen you've got some geography work. Have you actually been able to do that? Now, of course, as I'm going to say a lot, I'm sure that all of you, because you're in the Raleigh house, are going to be really proactive, and you're going to be saying, yes, I've done my homework, because you've actually done your homework. And so the parents, you can check on Show My Homework and say, yes, you have, well done, fantastic. Here's a picture of the planner that I talked about earlier. Now, my favorite thing about this is you can see, obviously on the left-hand side, that's the front cover. So, you've got your name on the front, but on the right-hand side, you've got some boxes for each of the different lessons. And what happens is after every single lesson, your teacher will give you a stamp if you've done well. Now, as a head of house, and if I was a parent, this would be superb for me, I think, as a parent, because what I could do is every day I could ask my son or daughter, oh, can I have a look in your planner today? Let's have a look at those stamps. And basically, if you've got 5 stamps, or 6 or 7 potentially, with the enrichments of lunchtime and after school, that shows you that they've worked well in that lesson. And so what you should be seeing every day is you've got a stamp in each of those lessons. Great, it's been another good day for you. And it's a really good way for us to notice good students, and consistently good students, because it's regularly stamped. It might be, and of course you're in the Raleigh house, so you're not going to be doing anything wrong, of course, that if you haven't followed the non-negotiables, which I'll talk about in a second, maybe a little message will be wrote in there. There won't be a stamp, or it might be given a number. That shows for the parents that something's gone wrong in that lesson. And so we can hopefully start working together to identify, it was one bad lesson, or actually you seem to be, lesson 1, we don't seem to be getting our stamps. And so we can easily have some consistency of where we're doing well. But overall, for me, this is great because we can consistently see praise and where you're doing really well. We can move on, please. Thank you very much. Now, of course, what we want to do is make sure that we're coming into Sidmouth College with the right attitude. All right. And this is where, you know, when we do our Raleigh assemblies, and I'll be stood in front of everyone in Raleigh, if we get to do that, then I'll be saying this is what we need to be doing and setting the example for the rest of the school. So, you know, then I can go around and boast that Raleigh's the best because all of us are following these rules and proving that we are the best, right? So we need to be ready to learn. We need to make sure that we're coming in with the right attitude, making sure that, you know, we're trying to learn ourselves, also helping the others around us to learn. We've got a really nice school environment. We've got a really good new school building as well, which some of you might have seen on the tours. What we want to do is treat that environment with respect, make sure that, you know, you're treating it as you would be treating your home, making sure that you're trying your best, and, you know, it says fulfilling your responsibilities. Again, we're in the Raleigh house. I keep saying it. We're in the best house. We need to be setting the tone. Okay. So what you're doing is really showing that you're trying your hardest, and setting the example for the rest of the houses to be chasing. Cool. Thank you. Now, I'm not going to read through all of these, but these are what we call the classroom non-negotiables. Basically, this is what we expect from you students every single lesson. Okay. And I don't think there's anything unreasonable in here. Is making sure that you're coming in with the right attitude, with the right equipment, and you're doing the right things to make sure that you are learning. So this list has been compiled to make sure that you are focusing on your work the best you can to make sure you're learning and making sure the people around you are learning. And ultimately, if you're meeting these non-negotiables, in a few seconds, we'll be looking at 2 different policies that we'll be following as well. So here's the first one, and this is the one that I like the most, and this is the one that you're going to be seeing the most. This is the praise system, the P system. Now, within the different houses, this is why I'm so competitive. You're going to get different points. They're called house points or praise points, okay? More recently, we've called them house points. The more house points you get, the higher up the leaderboard we go, and the more I can carry on boasting to the other heads of houses that Raleigh is the best and we're at the top, right? You will soon get bored of me saying it, but when we are there at the top, you will feel very proud to be there, I'm sure, okay? And so what we can do is, for different things that you're doing, you'll get a different level of praise points. And so if you just do quite well, you're working hard, you'll be given a P1 in different lessons. If you've done something really, really good, you can be given a P4. So you can see at the bottom, it talks about excellent attendance throughout the year, which is monitored. Maybe in a certain department, you clearly trying really hard. So it might be the history department's really impressed with your work over, you know, a few lessons, and they want to give you a P4 for that. And this is where what you want to be aiming for. As you come into Sidmouth College, you want to be looking to get those P points, you know, getting that score to your name and helping the Raleigh house get to the top. We will have a quick look at the other one, which is called the C system. We do need to have this system in place for when things do go wrong. Of course, in the Raleigh house, we will be making sure things don't go wrong. But we do need to be aware that if you make the wrong choice, and if you do come into lessons and you're not ready to learn, what you're doing is you're stopping yourself from learning and you're stopping other people from learning. And therefore, we need to put in, you know, some different consequences to make sure that you understand how we need to be next time. And so it could be that you have restoratives with your teacher. Thank you. It could be that you have to have some tension sometimes. But ultimately, if you go down to a C4, you can see there's, you know, isolation, you might get exclusions. Of course, that's not what we want to do. That's not what we're interested in doing. But it has to be there as the policy. What we want to be doing is bigging you guys up, praising you where possible, and ultimately you can leave in 5 or 7 years thinking that you've got the most out of your school experience. Of course, uniform. Some of you might have older brothers and sisters, and so you've got some uniform handy. But some of you, this might be your first experience in Sidmouth College, you need to buy some new uniform. It is really worth reading the uniform policy properly. I have had parents who have bought some shoes perhaps that don't actually meet the uniform policy. So please do take some time before you do buy, the uniform intended for September. You can get your uniform from Thomas More, which I believe is in Exeter. Is that right? I can't remember. Yeah, Mrs. Parsons is nodding, so that's good. But also you've got Exeter and Honiton Sports in Honiton as well. Really, really key, making sure that when you've got this uniform, you've got your names in it. It sounds, like a silly thing to say, but it does make a difference when you've lost your blazer on the, first week. It's really easy to just go, oh, that belongs to so-and-so, here you go. All right. And likewise with your PE kit, we're looking after it and making sure it's got your names in. Edulink is another website that parents can use, which is really, really useful because you'll be able to see, I've just talked about all those P points, the house points, and I've talked about the C points as well. As a parent, you will be able to access a log of all of those praise points and all of those behavior points. And so we've got this really good communication rather than you having to ring me up if you've got any concerns, or if you want to see how many house points they've got, because maybe you want to put in a reward at home. You can just do that yourself by going on the website. And of course, if you go on the website and you think, oh my goodness, I've got a worry, or, oh, wow, this is amazing. You can then, decide to get in touch with the tutor or me, and therefore we can have conversations based on that. But there's lots of different things that you can look at on Edulink One. And so it might be things that you put on, you're putting money onto the canteen, for the lunches, and you'll be able to see what they're buying, things like that. So it just gives you a log of how your child is doing in school. Here's the college day. This is going to be new for September after all of our COVID things. We've had to change our timetables a little bit, but this is what life will be like for year 7. You start walking in from 8:35, and tutor time is going to start at 8:50. So 8:50 is the time that you're going to need to be into school. And then you always start in registration with your tutor group. So that's where you'll be seeing Mr. Richards or Mrs. Masters. After 20 minutes or 25 minutes of working in there, you'll have 5 lessons. So you have 2 lessons break, a lesson and lunch, and then you'll have lessons 4 and 5. There is an enrichment there as well, which is where if you choose to go to an after school club, you'll have opportunities to see what the school has available, and they will be gone for the hour after school. Mobile phones. Ultimately, it depends what we see in the news over the next few days. Mr. Williamson's been talking about that a little bit at the moment. But at the moment, we've got our own school policy, which is where mobile phones shouldn't be in school unless given permission from the teacher. Okay. Now, there is important reasons why sometimes you might want your phone, but ultimately, and therefore you can bring it into school at the moment, but they need to be put away and they need to be off during the school day. If the phone is seen during the school day, then it will be confiscated and taken to reception. And there is a system in place at the moment that if you've had it confiscated once, then as a student, you go and pick it up at the end of the day. If it's then happened again within the same term, then your parent would have to come in and collect it. If it then happens again in the same term, then the parent would collect it at the end of the week. And we start pushing on from there. But ultimately, we don't want to do that. Again, this isn't me telling you we're going to take your stuff. We obviously don't want to do that. What you need to know as students is that if you do have a mobile phone, when you come to Sidmouth College, it needs to be off, it needs to be away until the end of the day, when then you can get it back out. Now, obviously, as Mrs. Parsons has already said, you haven't met your tutor yet, so Mr. Richards and Mrs. Masters, which obviously you would have done around now if we were able to do the transition day. But as we get in September, you will have an opportunity soon. And we'll confirm those dates when we can. So that will be a good opportunity to catch up with the tutor, share any information that you feel like is important. But also your tutor will be able to give you an insight into how, your son and daughter has been able to fit in. We also have things, we're obviously going to have parents' evenings throughout the year, where you will be given via email some information on how to book these. We currently do it on a website that you can book it on. And then you'll be able to track that on the website. And like I say, you'll get more details as they come along, and they will be shown on the calendar from September on the website. Right, cool. So year 7, you are going to have an induction day on Wednesday, the 8th of September. Now, this is going to be a day when only you guys are in. So it's going to be quite a strange day, but it will be quite a nice day where you haven't got to, you know, you're coming from maybe a smaller school where you're the older, you know, students. You're suddenly going to go into a bigger school where you are, you know, the youngest and maybe the smallest. Obviously, as we've said before, it might be quite exciting, but it could also be a little bit intimidating, a little bit scary sometimes. So on the 8th, we're going to have a day where it's just you guys coming into school, where you can just have a nice, gentle, you know, you just dipping your toe into the school, getting to know your way around, and getting used to it. When there's not lots of people around, and obviously you'll get to meet your tutor, you'll get to meet your teachers, or some of your teachers, and so you'll have a really good opportunity to ask as many questions as you want, making sure that by the Thursday, when everyone comes in, you're thinking, yeah, I know what I'm doing, I know where I've got to go, I know who's in my group, and just things like that. So it's a really good opportunity as well, where we can make sure that you understand what's expected of you as students, making sure that you know where to go, and know who you can talk to. Obviously, we've done a lot of talking here, and I've talked very quickly. You've not had necessarily a chance to ask questions, and you might have thought, oh, I wanted to know more about that, for example. The website, it has, of course, got lots of different things that you can have a look at. There's the 3 tabs here which have been circled, so you can look at admissions, where there's a heading called Year 6 Transition, where you'll see a few of the videos. So you'll be able to see this one, for example, if you thought, oh, Mr. Gilbert, Raleigh, I want to hear all about Raleigh all over again. So I expect this one will be in there. But also, you know, there's a tab about parents, there's a tab about learning. There's lots of things there for you to have a look at if you wanted to know more. And so here is the tab of information for Year 6 students. And then, of course, you can click on transition videos and resources from there. Cool. And that's pretty much it from me. Look, I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys on Wednesday the 8th. I'm really looking forward to seeing my new recruits, ready to make sure that we're back on the top of the leaderboard. And yeah, cool. I hope that you enjoy your last few weeks of primary school. So, right, thank you very much. I'm handing over to Mrs. Parsons, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert, and thank you for rallying your Raleigh troops as well. So I'm sure they'll do you proud in September. So it's been really lovely to have so many of you joining us this afternoon. Obviously, that's just a taster really of some of those key bits of information that you'll need to know prior to September. I would really encourage you to spend some time looking at the website, spend some time watching the videos. There are some videos of some of our Year 7s who are doing some Q&A sessions. Some of our Year 6s in the primary schools have sent those questions up to us, and we've asked our students to answer them. So spend some time watching those. They will help to reassure you. And obviously, we're really looking forward to welcoming you on that first day in September. So enjoy the rest of your evenings. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you all in September. Okay, bye-bye.